Hello. Today's title is Resilience Everywhere. What is resiliency? Basically, it's your capacity to deal with challenges, with problems, with events. It can be droughts, lack of drinking water, your like I just had a serious back injury and I could hardly move for a month, or you have a family member who's ill, or you are not making that promotion. It can be anything. But resiliency is your capacity to deal with it. And you need resiliency at all kinds of levels. At the personal level, with health issues or money or family, but also at the business level, because from one moment to the other, conditions might change. Like for instance, you are selling your product in a market and there comes another competitor who's much cheaper, or they close the country and you're no longer allowed to export. And also, what is becoming extremely critical, cities. You need resiliency in cities, because how are you going to deal with the influx of millions and millions of new people who want to live there? How are you going to deal, like in India, with drought and lack of drinking water? How are you going to deal with floods, like in Bangladesh, or tornadoes, like in the US? Or even here in Europe, or in France, in the last few weeks, it was temperatures in the 40s, 45 degrees Celsius, and we're totally not used to. So, resiliency is needed at all these levels. So, how can you build your resiliency? Because I think it's something which you can train, which you can practice. And in our complex society with exponential changes, I think the resiliency becomes more and more important. I think there are a couple of steps. First, you can prepare for a lot of things. Like, hey, what am I going to do when there's a flood? What am I going to do when there's a drought? Do I have some spare water? Or if I have to leave the place, do I have batteries? Do I have gas in my car? Do I have a little money set aside? Hmm? Then you can rehearse. That's what they do more and more in buildings, but traditionally they used to do it on boats, that they rehearse a certain alarm. Like, okay, there's an alarm and everybody has to get out of the building, and then they have to meet at a certain point where they will count whether everybody is there. So, but that's something which you can practice yourself as well. You can rehearse things. What is important, because these events will happen, it doesn't matter. Anything in your life, you will be confronted with challenges. So you can learn to detach and learn to accept and acknowledge and understand that impermanence is part of life. And most important is like what they say with the Navy SEALs, if something happens, what will, stay calm. Calm is contagious. And these surprises at any level, they will come at a much deeper and at a much faster level than we're used to. So it's not something like, hey, we're going to practice when it's happening. No, because then you're too late. You have to practice now while things are okay, because then you are prepared when something happens. And resiliency is something which helps you a lot. So I invite you to start practicing that.